I'm back. I hope everyone's having a great start to your 2019. I sure am. There's so many things to look forward to. I have so many blessings that have already happened and so many more things to look forward to this year. My biggest thing to look forward to this year is my wedding. I'm getting married October 27th of this year in Mexico to my best friend. And I'm so excited and so happy to get married. Number one, to my best friend. Number two, to be married on a beach. So I'm really excited. So with that being said, with my marriage coming up, I wanted to do a little video about like relationships, like how Serena and I work in a relationship to keep it so good. Because I get a lot of questions like, oh, you and Serena like are so perfect together, you're so lucky to have found someone so perfect for you, and all this stuff. And although I do agree, I'm very lucky to have found her and made her mine. But Serena and I are perfect for each other, right? But we're not two perfect human beings, right? So yes, we're great people, but we also have our own shit that we go through and things that we have to work on and stuff like that. So I really appreciate everyone thinking that it's just like super easy and we just are just amazing, and that's great, but it's not like that. It's not a walk in the park every single day with us. We're two different human beings trying to become one person, and that is difficult. That is a very difficult thing to do, to combine two separate individuals into almost one person. That's what you do when you are building a relationship with each other, especially in a marriage. So yeah, you can have a lot of disagreements. You can see things differently. I think one of the biggest things, just not in a romantic relationship, but just in any relationship and just as a human being, we need to learn that the way that people perceive things is just completely different from what we see, right? So like, I learned in meditation that, me and Serena can wake up in the morning and do almost the exact same thing. Wake up at the same time, get out of the bed at the same time, make our tea, drink our tea, do our breakfast and stuff. And the way that she's seen it unravel is different from how I've seen it unravel. And doesn't mean either one of us are wrong. It's just our perspectives are different, right? So knowing that and understanding that, it really does put you ahead of the game, because if I say something with a tone because I'm being passionate about something, I'm Italian, I talk with my hands, I'm loud, Serena might take it a different way rather than what I really meant. So like what we try to do is communicate, over communicate. So, she's feeling a certain way and I had a certain tone, she'll like kind of be like, hey, like, with your tone and stuff, this is what I heard. And I can go back and say, listen, no, I'm sorry, like my tone was off. You already know me, I'm passionate, but this is what I meant by that. You know what I mean? So we over communicate everything. We want to know why the person's feeling the way that they're feeling and how we can move forward from this and change what we need to change. And luckily, we both are the type of people and have grown into the type of people that we want to make the change. We actually want to act on the change. How goals I talked about before is that you want to have a goal, you want to write it down, but you need an action plan. And once you have the action plan, you actually have to do the work, right? So that's the same thing here. So that's what we do. So we communicate, we over communicate, we try to come to an understanding, and then we figure out how we can change moving forward so we don't have an argument like that over perception or, things that trigger us. I'm sure everybody has been in a couple relationships before or gone through stuff through their teenage years or whatever they've been through. And like sometimes we can trigger other people just by doing certain things. So another thing, just as an example, like I'm very loud, boisterous, and just in your face. And it's not because I'm being like mean or anything. It's just who I am. I'm just animated. And passionate. But Serena, on the other hand, is a little bit more quieter and kind of like has a lower tone and stuff like that, a little bit just calmer. And that's fine. We're two different people. We express ourselves differently. But when I found out that when I do act passionate and it does come off as if I'm yelling at her, And even if I'm not yelling at her, I'm yelling about a situation or being passionate about a situation, it comes off as if I'm yelling at her, being passionate at her, and that to her is triggering. So like once I learned that about her, I kind of realized like when I do kind of feel myself getting like amped up about a situation, I'll communicate first. Like, this is not about you, my tone right now. I'm passionate about this, what we're talking about right now. So she understands at that point, she no longer has to take anything personal in the conversation. So certain things like that is what we do. We've really learned each other. We really have learned each other over the past 4 years. It'll be 4 years this month, at the end of the month. So we really took the time to actually really learn about each other. I think us meeting at like around, she was 28, I was 30, well, just about 30, she was just about 28, but meeting later in life, I think we were at a different maturity level when we met. So I feel like, you know, and we went through a couple relationships prior. So I feel like we pretty much knew what we wanted. Both of us pretty much weren't trying to deal with any more bullshit anymore. So when we got together, we were like perfectly ready to like get into a relationship and do the work. Prior to that, relationships didn't really work out. Now, whether it was because of the other person, whether it was because it wasn't meant to be, whether it was because we weren't mature enough to put the work in, or we weren't in love enough to actually make the changes and move forward in a different way. So whatever the reason is, I think that has a lot to do with it. So communication is number one. I wrote these down so I don't forget. Friendship is another thing. Me and Serena are like best friends. I don't need, like, I love my friends. I need my friends, but I don't need my friends. You know what I mean? Like, if I was to move, which we're moving, you know, a couple states away, I'm going to be with just Serena at first, and that's fine because she's my best friend. Like, we like the same things. We like different things. We're willing to try different things. We're willing to we're just best friends. We hang out, we go out to dinner, we go out to eat, we go to the movies, we hang out at home, we do, you know, binge watch Netflix. We like similar things. We love to travel. We love to be at the beach. We love to be outside at concerts and festivals and all that stuff. So, which I learned to like from Serena. But, you know, we really are best friends. So we hang out. We don't like, it's not like annoying to be with my girlfriend all the time. Luckily, as being a lesbian, it's like, you do have a best friend and your girlfriend. You know what I mean? You guys can share clothes. You guys can, you know, go to the same stores to buy clothes. And you guys have similar things. So we have one up on everybody, I think, a little bit, being two females. So I think friendship is super important. So make sure you're marrying or being with your best friends or try to become best friends. Because the way that I see it is like, I don't ever want to hurt my best friend. Ever. I never want to say anything to hurt her feelings. I don't want to say anything that might make her doubt herself. I want to always make her feel good. So when I think of that, it's like, that's how I should feel about Serena, because sometimes when you get in relationships, ego can come along and like resentment and all this other stuff that comes along with feelings. You know, when you have romantic feelings for people, you have all these crazy things happening. But you want to get in the mindset, you don't want to hurt that person either. You want to treat them like your best friend. You don't ever want to tarnish their self-confidence. You don't ever want to yell at them or be mean to them or hurt their feelings or be the reason why they're crying, or, you know, you don't want to do that to your friends, and you really don't want to do that to your partner. I know it can happen, and sometimes your partner ends up being the dog to kick when you come home, and, you know, we work through it. You know, we're pincushions sometimes, and that's fine. But at the end of the day, you really want to make sure that you and your partner have a good friendship, because that's super important. It's a good solid foundation for your relationship. Mutual respect. So me and Serena, again, it goes off that too. It's like, have a mutual respect for each other. Like, I will never call her out her name. I will never say anything to make her feel less of a woman, less of a wife to be, less of a fiance, less of a daughter, less of a friend, less of a worker, less of anything. I don't ever want to say anything that could really hurt her feelings, that could really be triggering for her, that could really damage her mentally, because people don't understand some of the things that we say, although the person gets over it, it is damaging. It is damaging. And it's not good for their mental health. And you see people who do have mental health issues and stuff like that, when you go back to their childhood and their early adult years and all the shit that they went through kind of caused the mental health issues. So not saying that's always the end all be all mental health issues, you know what I mean? But it does contribute. Like, that stuff does contribute to that stuff. So like, why would you want to be someone that would hurt the person that you love with your words or your actions, or scare them? Or why would you want to do that? If you are, then you're in the wrong relationship. or you have a lot of work to do on yourself, and it's not fair for the other person to have to sit around and be a victim to loyalty, because the main thing is working things out with everybody. And I have a little different opinion than that. Like, yeah, work on your stuff, keep on trying, love people when they don't want it, when they're not worthy of it for that moment. But if it's a vicious cycle, you need to get yourself out of that cycle, because you do not owe anybody anything but yourself. So although we're taught to focus on the other person, make sure you're there for that person, make sure you're their backbone, make sure you don't give up, but then you start to forget about yourself. But what about me? But like, I'm getting hurt in this situation. I'm being teared down in this situation. I'm not getting what I need out of this, but I'm everything for that person. At that moment for me is when I'm out. Doesn't matter. I'm out. Like, if things aren't changing, if I'm not happy, if I see a cycle repeating, and we're growing and we're working towards like different things and you still aren't changing, I'm out. That's just me. And some people are like, nope, to my dying day, I'm going to stay around and I'm going to deal with this. And I'm not. I'm like, I'm not wasting any more time. I got to go. So I'm so happy that I have Serena now, who we actually want to work with each other. But I just have like a kind of more of a cutthroat. And some people might say I'm wrong for that, but that's just who I am. But I'll be back with more women empowerment videos for y'all, because I can get on my soapbox and really get in there. And then my last thing that I have is attention. Attention. Give your partner attention. When I get home from work and me and Serena are talking, if I'm like this the whole time and she's telling me something about work and I'm like, yeah, you know what I mean? Like, to me, it's just like, I'm not fully paying attention to her. I'm not. I'm hearing her, but am I listening to her? I'm not. So when she asks me a question and stuff, or she says something and makes a pause and I'm like, oh yeah, oh, that's crazy. Does that even fit in the sentence? I don't know, because I wasn't listening. So I think it's really important for us to pay full attention. Have times at night. Have days where when you unplug. Have time. I work on my phone a lot because I also have a business, a small business that I'm running too. So I work all day and then I have to do my business at night, and entrepreneurship is 24/7. But I can't be at work for 10 hours a day and then be on my phone for 4 hours at night and kiss my fiance goodnight and kiss her good morning, and that's it. I don't have any time for her because I'm busy. I don't like that. I'm starting to put my foot down with it. And if I can't do something, I can't do something, because Serena's way more important. You know what I mean? I really have, for the past, ever since last year, I've kind of just like started meeting people where they are and meeting them where they meet me. So I always was that friend that was, no matter what, I was going to my friends, I was traveling out, I was taking time out of my life, to go visit everybody else. And all that was fun for a while. And because I was able to do it, I didn't have kids and stuff, but that doesn't mean that I'm not busy. And that doesn't mean that my girlfriend's not as important than your child's, because she is. But I had a little bit more freedom with the going around and stuff because I didn't have kids. But it gets tiring. So since last year, I've just kind of been just giving as much effort as given to me. So if like you're not coming to visit me at my house, I'm not going to go to visit you at your house. You know what I mean? I'm not going to continue to keep on taking, making it seem like I just have all this time in the world and everybody else can just hang out at their house and just wait for me to drive over them and me make the effort to do this and me make the effort to do that, and I'm not getting it back. I wasn't really getting it back. So I kind of just stopped doing it. And it is what it is. And like, some people got mad at me. Some people felt a certain way. And some people probably still feel a certain way. And some people might feel a certain way after seeing this. But at the end of the day, I'm an adult. I'm 33. I'm about to be 34. This is my wedding year. I'm trying to figure out how to be a wife. And if I'm everybody's friend first before I'm a wife, then what's that going to do for my relationship? So I've really put my foot down and focused on my home life. So I think that's really important. Pay attention to your home life. Be home more. Be off your phone more. Do more dates. Do more getaways. Travel with each other. Live life. Don't just live the everyday routine of going to work and coming home and being aggravated because, I had a long day and this, that, and the third, and my boss did this and my coworkers did this, and then, I got to go here to, or in the weekend, I have no time to, all we do is just bitch and moan and complain all the time. Like, at some point, we have to just, say, you know what? Shut off the outside world. I'm home with you now. Let's plan a weekend that we can get away. New Hampshire, Rhode Island. I live in Massachusetts, so anywhere for the weekend. Let's just get away for a little bit. Let's get away from this area that's causing so much stress. You have to figure out how to distress together, how to spend time together, how to make time to be together, and stop getting so caught up with life stuff. Bills are going to always be there. Your job, you're going to have to work for the rest of your life. You know, unfortunately, money is going to make us work and be busy for the rest of our life. Family's going to make us stressed out. You know, friends are going to make us stressed out. Things, it's just life. But at the end of the day, you got to focus on what's important to you. And to me, is really growing my family now. My main focus is not my friends anymore, which it was in my 20s. I had a lot of fun. I love my friends. But, you know, I'm in my 30s now, and my main focus is being the best wife I can be, and then trying to have kids, moving out of Massachusetts and starting my life. And like when I was younger, I don't remember my mom and dad just going out to their friend's house all the time. Like, oh, I'll be back. I'm going to this person's house. You know, they never did because they were home. We were her friends. You know, we were their friends. My mom and dad, you know, didn't do anything with anybody. It was always us. So like, that's kind of like how I want to do my stuff. Like my family is going to be most important. And it's the same for Serena. So we also are morally connected. Which is really, really great too. So those are my 4 points, my main points of our relationship, and why I feel like we've been so successful. It's been 4 years. We're gonna get married at the end of this year, and then 3 months later will be our 5 years. I just really hope that we continue this, and that, you know, no matter what happens, we continue to work through it, and I know that we will. Otherwise, I wouldn't be marrying her. So I hope you guys got some stuff out of this video, and I'll be back with some women empowerment, talking about friendships in your 30s. I have a whole bunch of stuff lined up. I have a couple videos that I'm editing still. But yeah, I hope you guys stay tuned and listen in. If you guys like this video, please click subscribe, please click like, and I will be back soon with some more info.